The story of Matthew Johnson and Jennifer Gledhill is a harrowing reminder that the most dangerous monsters are not those that lurk in shadows, but those that smile at us across the dinner table. It is a tale of a picture-perfect life that was, in reality, a meticulously constructed prison, and of the violent, calculated explosion that shattered it, leaving a trail of devastation that would forever alter the lives of 3 young children, 2 families, and a community that thought it knew the people living in the beautiful house on the hill. From the outside, the Johnson-Gledhill family was the embodiment of the American dream. Their home in the affluent community of Cottonwood Heights, Utah, was not just a structure of brick and mortar, but a symbol of success. It was a place where neighbors saw a devoted military father, a caring, attentive mother, and 3 beautiful children, aged 11, 7, and 5, whose laughter echoed in a yard that was always perfectly manicured. They were the family you pointed to, the one that seemed to have seamlessly navigated the challenges of marriage, parenthood, and career, arriving at a destination of contentment and stability. Matthew Johnson, at 51, was the solid, reliable center of this world. He was not just a soldier, he was a Green Beret, a member of the Utah National. He was more than a comrade, he was a bedrock. He was described as brilliant, the man you went to when you needed an answer, the one who could be counted on when everything was falling apart. His service, spanning over a decade, was a testament to his discipline, his courage, and his deep-seated sense of duty. He had faced dangers in foreign lands, yet his greatest pride and his most important mission was his family. Friends like Kevin Thompson, a retired Utah National Guardsman, saw in Matthew a man of unwavering integrity, a father who adored his children, a husband who, until recently, had spoken of building a future with his wife. Jennifer Gledhill, 42, was the architect of the family's domestic life. To the outside world, she was the quintessential military wife, supportive, organized, and deeply invested in her children's lives. She was perceived as nice, if somewhat reserved, a bit of a homebody who focused her energies on the home and family. Matthew's friends and colleagues found her pleasant, if not always easy to know deeply. She was the welcoming hostess, the planner of birthday parties, the manager of the household's complex schedule. For years, this facade held firm, a carefully curated performance that masked the slowly spreading cracks beneath the surface. But no facade is impervious, and by the summer of 2024, the cracks had become fissures, threatening to tear everything apart. The truth was that the perfect marriage had been a pressure cooker for years. The couple had been silently struggling, their relationship deteriorating into a state of profound dysfunction. The tension was no longer something they could hide behind closed doors, it was seeping out, noticed by friends and family. Since July 2024, the word divorce had evolved from a whispered threat to a serious consideration. The house, once a home, had become a battlefield, its rooms filled with the silent artillery of resentment and unspoken grievances. In August of that year, the private war went public. Jennifer Gledhill filed for a temporary protective order against Matthew. In her petition, she painted a picture of a wife in fear, claiming she needed legal protection from her husband. It was a dramatic escalation, a move that signaled to the world that the Johnson-Gledhill marriage was not just troubled, but potentially dangerous. The case landed before 3rd District Commissioner Russell Miners, who was tasked with sifting through the evidence to determine if Jennifer's claims had merit. What Commissioner Miners found, however, was not a straightforward narrative of an abused wife. As he examined the evidence Jennifer herself provided, videos and text messages, a very different story emerged. The videos did not show a cowering, fearful woman. Instead, they depicted Jennifer as unafraid, assertive, and equally confrontational. The text messages were even more revealing. Commissioner Miners noted that Jennifer's messages to Matthew were repeatedly berating, belittling, and demeaning, if not outright attempting to goad him into a violent response. This was not the communication of a victim, it was the record of a deeply toxic and mutually destructive relationship. On September 16, 2024, Commissioner Miners delivered his ruling. He dismissed the protective order, stating unequivocally that no abuse had occurred. His words, written in the dry, precise language of the law, now seemed chillingly prophetic. He wrote, "The conduct of the parties over the past several months is representative of a highly dysfunctional marriage bringing out the worst in the parties, clearly suggestive that an action for divorce should have been filed long before reaching the current state of affairs." He saw two people trapped in a cycle of misery and urged them to end it legally and cleanly. He could not have known that Jennifer had already devised a much more permanent and horrific solution. The legal door to a divorce had been firmly closed, and in doing so, it may have inadvertently locked the door to Matthew's only peaceful escape. What Commissioner Miners, and indeed Matthew himself, did not fully grasp was the extent of Jennifer's duplicity. She was living a double life. While publicly playing the part of the wronged wife seeking protection, she was privately entangled in an intense affair with another man. Throughout the legal proceedings, Jennifer Gledhill has pleaded not guilty to the litany of charges against her: 1 count of first-degree murder, 5 counts of obstruction of justice, 1 count of possession of a controlled substance, 1 count of abuse or desecration of a human body, and 1 count of tampering with a witness. During her bail hearing, prosecutors argued successfully that she posed a profound danger to the community and the integrity of the investigation. They revealed that she had told her lover she would shoot herself before going to jail, a statement that demonstrated both her desperation and her continued potential for violence. The judge agreed, denying her request for bail. She remains in custody at the Salt Lake County Jail, awaiting a trial that is scheduled to begin on December 8, 2025, and is expected to last 8 days. Adding a layer of cold financial calculation to the tragedy is the question of Matthew's $500,000 Prudential life insurance policy, which named Jennifer as the beneficiary. With Jennifer facing murder charges and Matthew's body still missing, Prudential has asked the court to determine who should rightfully receive the money, a stark legal battle over the financial spoils of a life brutally taken. At the heart of this sordid tale, beyond the legal maneuvering and the horrifying details, are 3 innocent children. They have lost both parents in the most traumatic way imaginable, one to murder, the other to prison. Their world has been utterly destroyed. Matthew Johnson's family, through their victim representative, has released a statement that captures the simple, aching desire that now defines their lives. "We are hopeful that we will find Matt soon, or that Jennifer or someone will come forward with the location of his body so we can properly lay him to rest." The prosecution's theory of the case is straightforward, yet its implications are deeply chilling. They believe Jennifer Gledhill killed her husband because he discovered her affair and she wanted to be free to pursue her relationship with her lover unencumbered. Faced with the prospect of a messy divorce that would mean shared custody, financial division, and public scrutiny, she chose what she believed was a cleaner, more final option: murder. As the world awaits Jennifer Gledhill's trial in December 2025, one haunting question lingers, a question with no satisfactory answer. How does a mother of 3 look into the faces of her children and justify annihilating their father, and in doing so, destroy their world, for the sake of an affair? Perhaps we will never fully understand the depths of her selfishness and cruelty. What we do know is that her actions have created wounds that will never fully heal, scars that 3 children will carry for a lifetime. Justice may eventually be served in a court of law, but it will be a hollow victory. Matthew Johnson will never again come home to his children. And somewhere in the vast, lonely landscape of northern Utah, a devoted father and a soldier who served his country with honor lies in an unmarked grave, waiting for someone to finally tell the truth about where he can be found. Subscribe and join us as we uncover more stories where truth hides in shadows, and justice waits in silence.